Alrighty, folks, today you join me not in the middle of nowhere for once. We are actually at our new home base. That is right, I have bought a piece of property, which is really exciting. And I'm pumped to show you guys and all the stuff we're going to be able to do here. I've never owned a piece of property before, so this opens a lot of doors for me for collecting junk and using my junk. Like the little Mighty Mac we can use for all sorts of projects now on my own property instead of hauling it to my buddy Jordan's house just to move poop around. Anyway, still in the same general area I was before. No crazy long distance. I haven't changed states or anything like that. So we're still going to do all the same auctions and everything like that. Nothing crazy is going to change for the channel like that. But this is going to be huge for being able to collect larger pieces of junk and do projects like dirt work. We have sheds that need work, garages that I just did a month's worth of work to, and so on. So today's video going to be kind of weird, and I am sort of running out of time with it getting dark, and I need to get this filmed for tomorrow for you guys. So we're actually going to kind of complicate this a little bit. We are going to go ride around the property on a new four-wheeler, but first you guys need to see the process of getting the four-wheeler running. So there will be a revival in the middle of all this. So we're going to cut to that, and I will see you guys in a second. Alrighty, well, the first project or revival in the new garage is here. This is a 1988 Yamaha Moto 4. Now, please excuse the mess. I'm waiting for the paint to dry, so I don't really want to move anything around, but I want to fiddle with this thing. So we're doing this out of order, but we're going to see. The story on this is it should be really easy to revive. I don't know if that's going to happen, but we're going to attempt. And if it's going to be a huge project, then we'll push it back outside, set the garage up as it should be, and then finish this. But I just want to dig into it a little bit now. So anyway, this is a 1988, I think, Yamaha Moto 4. Baby blue in color and a complete sweetheart. We have a very nice set of plastics on it other than some sun fading. I think there is one bite taken out of the plastics. If I remember correctly, I thought one of the fenders. Yes, up here. That's the only chomp someone took out of the fender. Otherwise, the plastic's beautiful. It's got its headlights. The rack received a winch, which is a shame. We're going to cut that off of there. And otherwise, you know, the racks aren't all stoved in. There's a good dent here, but you expect at least a few dents to happen. So the story that I got on this little fella, this is a two-wheel drive, like 225 or 250 cc four-wheeler. The fella had it registered in Iowa in 2020 and had been using it. And he said he was riding it a bunch, and slowly the electric start became unreliable for him, and he ended up just parking it. Started to fix the electric start. You can see he pulled it apart there and never finished it. Went out and bought a brand new CF Moto, which in my opinion, you know, a little bit of a downgrade, but that's another story. Nothing against CF Motos. I just like these. So I've owned one of these, the four-wheel drive version of this. We bought in a group of four-wheelers and one snowmobile that we picked up about 2 years ago. That one was a complete mess, but I was quite happy with how they were set up. This one looks like it's got a fighting chance of being a pretty nice little four-wheeler. So what we're going to do today is the bare basics. Check the oil, check our fuel, see what's going on. And then I ended up ordering a new electric start switch. What do we think? What's the sniffometer going to say? Smells a little bit like mayonnaise. I ordered a new assembly here. We're going to start with that. He could have been wrong, looking in the wrong spot, but this is all blown apart now. So we'll throw that on. We need to throw a battery in it. But before we go scrounge a battery, let's pull our dipstick. Oh, not bad looking at all. Looks relatively fresh, and it's full. Awesome. Okay. Let's scoot outside, and I think I know where I can steal a battery from that we won't be needing anytime soon. Alrighty, well, we made it out to our battery donor. The little 7-foot jet boat is stuck outside for right this second, but it will be going in the garage soon. But either way, I winterized this thing the other day, and won't be needing the battery all winter, hopefully. So we are going to go ahead and snag that for our Yamaha. Yamahas helping Yamahas. Okay, I think coming full circle, like I said, I had one of these about a year ago, and I think I bought this battery when I bought all those four-wheelers, probably more for the Honda than the Yamaha that I had. I still have that nice Honda that came out of that deal. Anyway, so I think I bought this battery with one of these in mind. I guess maybe not, because it doesn't really seem like it fits. It's really close, but it's like really close. There we go. Okay, it might. Yeah, that's like perfect. Okay, cool. Ooh, we have a secret compartment here I forgot about. Anything good? What is that? Oh, a spark plug wrapped up in tape. I'll put that back in there for safekeeping. Even though it's more mud in there than there is on the outside of the quad. Okay, well, we have our OEM parts here. No, these are the Chinese. So you'll see this thing is actually supposed to have the E-stop on it too. Yeah, that's broken. Okay, yeah. So we're doing the right thing here. I do recognize those plugs. Those look factory for the last one of these I worked on. Let's pull the 2 screws that hold this guy on and see if we can get to that plug. Or maybe I can reach it from the bottom. Oh, yeah, okay. No problem at all. We can just get to it right from there. I don't think you guys will be able to see it while I do it, though. Alrighty, we got some signs of life here. Got that all hooked up. Our key is on. Key switch works. That's a good sign. Let's no cranky yet, though. I wonder if we need to hit the brakes. Gotta hit all the brakes at once, you know? No. This one we can lock on, so that would probably be for your cranking if it has a safety switch. I don't know that it does. We don't have a neutral light on the dash. All right, well, I hammered around with the neutral, and I believe we're in it. All the way down should be neutral. It rolls freely. So I got to thinking, how would you get a neutral light on? We don't have anything right now. There's got to be a switch that tells it when the neutral is in neutral, right? Well, we found it. It's this flimsy little guy down here with a wire. Don't look too hot. Let's go ahead and unhook that. Oh, yeah, we got a neutral light now, boys and girls. Okay, let's unhook this and see if we can ground it out a little better. Let me grab a test lead or something. All right, we dug up a test lead. Hook it back there on the wire, and then this guy, let's turn our key on. And we'll watch for that light to come on. If you hook it up to where it's supposed to be, it comes on. Okay, so I guess our switch is good. It's just that wire's kind of junky. I bet that light will go off here soon. So you can see, we got a green light. Now, let's go ahead and press the button of faith. Nothing still. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that connection's no good. All right, well, we are going to go ahead and say that this thing may have been messed with before. That does not look like a factory connector. Doesn't matter. It looks like junk right now anyway. I kind of like these really cheap strippers. Wire strippers, that is. I have the automatic ones, which are great. They work really well most of the time. But wire like that, where it's kind of got 2 casings, might not have done such a great job. There we go. Put that guy there. And then do a little crimpy. I mangled this set of crimpers. We took this off, and I actually used this to make a, what do you call it? A flare on the inlet filler necks for my boat. So that's why those crimpers are all junked up. Okay. It looks a lot better, huh? Snug this guy down all the way. So we click our key on and we have a nice little bright light. Let's see what happens when we hit the button. Still nothing. I don't really like that button. It doesn't seem to work all the time, but I think our main issue is solved. Okay, now that it cranks over, let's see if we can open the air box and make sure there's nothing living in here. I use a manual impact because someone has already mangled these screws before me. Oh, I love that thing. All right, we got all 4 screws out. Oh, no critters, and actually a really clean filter, other than the dust I just dropped on it. Okay, we should be fine to crank it then. All right, now that we verified the air box is clear, the next step is see what's going on with our fuel situation. The valve was already on, so we're not gonna hurt anything by trying to start it like this. If there's any fuel in it, it's already in the carb. Let's go ahead and see if there is any fuel down there. I couldn't really tell in the tank itself. I don't know where my fuel line is in the garage, so we're gonna try and save this piece. Oh, there might not have been anything in that line. Okay, we got a collection can here. Let's turn the valve on. Let's try on first. Whole lot of nothing. What about reserve? There's something in the reserve. It looks pretty clear. Yeah. Smells like a really good cold cut, like a mayonnaise and onion. Let's just let it drain out of there. I got fresh fuel. All right, we're gonna dump some non-ethanol fuel into it. My new house is right next to a gas station that has non-ethanol fuel, which is sweet. And this thing also came from a place nearby, so I'm hoping maybe it had non-ethanol in it based on how it smelled and looked. That would be pretty awesome. Love to not have to clean the carburetor today. Alrighty, folks, what are the chances this thing fires right up without having to clean the carburetor? Got it on reserve, I think. Yes. Let's let the fuel drain down there for a second. Oh, yeah. Sweet. I'm going to shut it off before it smokes out the garage. Let's push it outside. Okay. Push outside. Just turn the key on. Also assembled this. Fits like crap, the new switch, but I cannot ask for nothing more. We're not out of the woods yet, though. It might bog. No, it even runs off choke. Oh, until I say something. It's really cold today. It's like 20. Oh, check that out. I have never seen that. It's got an extender doodle on the throttle. What? Or is that like a heater? No, that's just an extender. That's odd. Alrighty, so our test ride is also going to be our tour all in one. Alright, down first. Let's head down the driveway first. Thing runs good. Come on, even idles? Awesome. All right. First area of interest is this random parking pad along my driveway. Pretty nice little flat spot here. Property is technically a few different lots, which is weird. This one all used to this. There used to be a house right here. The previous owner demolished it. It was like a weird warehouse looking thing. There was no hope of saving it, so I don't blame them for demolishing it. So this is the parking pad for that. I apologize, we're kind of near the road right now. Anyway, nice flat spot. We can park 2 vehicles here very easily. Probably another one here, although they can be seen from the road. So Don't want to jam a bunch of stuff down here. Be kind of nice to put like a what do you call that? A parking porch, a garage without sides, whatever the hell that's called, here in the future, but I don't know. Anyway, coming through here, there is a bunch of woods and then the road. Pretty dense woods. There is some old stairs through there. We will cut some sort of trails through there for dirt bikes and things sooner or later. Yeah, anyway, heading over here to the next area of interest. My only complaint about the property is the whole property is pretty much a hill. It does limit us a little bit, but we do have a really nice flat spot down here. This also used to be like part of that house that I was telling you about. It's kind of nice. I could pull in. My old house, I couldn't keep my trailer at my house. Now I finally can. So we can pull in right off the road down there, spin around right here, and we have a nice flat parking spot. Hopefully for more than one trailer in the future. So yeah, just kind of a nice little flat lay down area for trailers and things. We're going to look at building number 1. I know you guys already got a little bit of the preview of the garage, but not really. That is a future project. I actually kind of horse traded around a little bit for that guy. So over yonder is our first building of our new property. This is a little shed. This is probably a 10 by 10, I would guess. Very old. Not sure what I'm going to do with it. It only has this people door on it. It is very low. Like I am in the rafters technically with my head, but I don't think this is actually a rafter. I think that's just a shelf. So we could remove that and probably have enough headspace in here for... I was thinking it'd be really nice to park the coot in here, but the door issue is a problem. Anyway, really cool old building. It's all glass sides. There's like no posts supporting the roof. I don't know how the roof is really held up. These must be more load bearing than I thought, these little metal pieces. One thing I noticed earlier, some of the windows have been replaced with an old Coca-Cola sign. If we end up doing something different with the walls, maybe we can pull those out of there and piece that sign back together. That'd be really cool. But yeah, just kind of a storage building right now. I would love to put some sort of better opening on the front. We could park like the coot and the Atex in here. Wouldn't have to be, I wouldn't put anything valuable in here because they're down by the street. And I don't want, like I wouldn't put a dirt bike in here. That would probably grow legs. There's some sort of bird. There's like a bird house on top. I don't know if this is like a pigeon building. I don't know. Anyway, we have like a whole kind of field area out here, although it's not a field because it's so hilly. Mowing this place is going to be very interesting. It is, it's a lot of land to take care of, but that just means we get to buy more junk to do it with. So we can continue on our tour. I'm not going to show you guys my house. That would be kind of weird, but that is my house. Maybe I'll show you guys my cool shelves I have for semi trucks now. But we're not going to go any further. I don't think YouTube needs to see the inside of my house. Found this cool little fake tree in the shed, and it is just about Christmas time, so set it there. Poor Suburban, a little update on that. It is still here. I know I haven't done a single video in it in the year that I've owned it other than the first one. That is hopefully going to change here soon. Now that I finally have a garage big enough to actually pull it inside, I hope to start in on the rust repair here soon. It has been a trooper of a truck. It is super reliable, knock on wood. I drive it pretty often all year and haven't had a single breakdown. So it's a really good truck. It is packed to the gills with everything that was in the shed attached to my garage at my old house. Like to the point I can't even open the door on the side anymore because the body shifted so much. So really handy machine to have around. Let's continue on though. It is going to get dark soon and I want to show you guys the rest of the property. Is our electric start still going to work? I love this thing. All right. There's like a weird drainage ditch here that's not really supposed to be here, but I'm going to be very curious since this whole place is on a hill, what it's going to be like for our first big rain. I'll show you guys why. So coming up here behind my shed, Got like kind of a pathway around the back here. I own a little ways into those woods. Another area of interest maybe. So we have a shed. It's like a 10 by 30, which is going to be great for storage, except for it only has those doors on it, but we'll talk more about that in a minute. Here's the garage. It looks massive from the front, but it's really not that big. It's much bigger than anything I've ever owned. That is for damn sure. But it's not very deep into the dirt here. I don't know why. It seems like they built a massive front and then they just like ran out of money back here. Not sure, but has a huge retaining wall around it. Gonna have to be careful that we don't launch anything off that one day, knock on wood. There's the coot and the boat. They both survived. And then we just got a pile of steel and junk back here. Alrighty, the next building, not super interesting, but it is some sort of chicken coop, I believe, or was at one point. I don't know what the hell it was. Maybe they kept dogs in here. It's like a 5 by 8. The roof's junk. Madeline, my girlfriend, really wants to turn it back into a chicken coop, and I see the vision, but the roof is buckled. It's not going to last long. There's a concave in there, so it's on a whole foundation, so I hate to tear it down. I don't really love that it's here, but whatever. 322. Not really a whole lot of interest in this in the channel, but it did make it. It is definitely going to be useful. We got the right snowblower for it. I'm still trying to find the right plow, but we're supposed to get like 8 inches of snow tomorrow, so hopefully that'll come in use. We have a whole lot more woods back here. There's a building up there. That's my neighbor's. So we own somewhere to over there. I don't know quite sure, but that's all pretty dense woods. There's a whole pile of junk tires here. My friend Kane was here from Sykesville Off-Road, and he was digging through the tires trying to find a spare wheel for his new Corvette that he is building on his channel. He did not get any lucky, but he did say there's a couple 8-lug wheels in here, 16.5s. Looks like there's a spoke wheel right there. I thought maybe that this was a trailer. I was hoping that was an old trailer frame, but I don't think it is. I think that's just a tire with a hub in it. So yeah, we got 8-lug wheel there, meant for hubcap. Same with that one. We got 2 spoke wheels. Maybe we can do something cool with that, art-wise. Not going to traipse too much through the woods. I don't know how far over I own there, so I don't want to start cutting trails until I know that for sure. Haven't met any of the neighbors, but I would like to be friendly. I try and be a good neighbor when I can be. Okay, so we saw the chicken coop. We saw the pile of tires. Let's head all the way to the top. I'm going to do that on the Moto 4. That starter doesn't sound so hot. Nothing of super interest here. There's some sort of weird metal structure there. Had some post on it. Might have been to hold up like a satellite at one point. Here you kind of get a top-down view of the property though. We're definitely not in the middle of nowhere. There is still a lot around. I mean, there's houses up there and there's houses all around. A lot of the places that I looked at when we were looking, it took us 8 months to find a good place that we liked, that we could afford, that would work. A lot of them were like in the middle of nowhere completely, which was great, but they were like an hour almost from work for me, and that would have really cut into my time every day, having a 2-hour commute. I'm really happy we found this place, but I wish it was a little bit more remote. There's always dogs barking and traffic and stuff, so I'm gonna have to get better about wearing my mic for you guys. But anyway, we have a lot more space up here, but all hillside mostly. Hoping to cut some trails through the woods. We already cut one over there, which we're gonna go ahead and go down now. I love this thing. This thing is great. Oh, we got a seesaw too. Me and Madeline tried that out. It actually supported me, surprisingly. Okay, so this trail was not here until I moved in. So you can see here is our property boundary. Just ran over my little jump I built. Yeah, I just kind of started driving around in the woods with the mini Jeep and kind of cut in this trail, and then I really finalized it with the skid steer the other day. But it snakes us all the way back behind the house here. And I would like to continue it all the way down into there, but it gets pretty steep at the bottom there. And there's a big culvert next to the road. There's not really a way to get out of there without coming back up here. So only for capable vehicles. Okay, next stop is the sort of side backyard of the house. Nice flat area, but I'd like to keep it lawn, so I'm not going to store a bunch of junk here. Looking over the edge here, somebody's dump site. That is the majority of a foundation of a house, I believe. Now, what's funny is this is all modern stuff. This was here when they tore that house down over there that I was pointing out. I think this was all from that. So that was only about 4 years ago. But if you look over there, there's a bunch of limestone chunks. I believe that's an old foundation from a very old building or house. Now, my house, you can't tell. There's an addition right there. That's all concrete. But the main original foundation, that house is from 1887. Doesn't look like it, at least not to me. But the original foundation on the original portion of the house is all limestone. So I think it's kind of cool. I would love to do something with those limestone rocks, but they're in a really tough spot. There's a culvert right there by the road, so you can't get at it from there. I don't know. And there's that old staircase I was telling you guys about. So definitely would like to do some sort of like rock climbing cross trail over there, but it's going to be tough for really capable vehicles. Probably the Coot is the only thing I have right now that'll be able to do it. Anyway, yeah, so just kind of another flat spot here. The 8C Mighty Mac made it back from my buddy Jordan's house. I am pumped to get to use this thing for all sorts of earth working projects. Needs a ton of work. It's still a good little machine, but it's got some reliability issues. I just can't trust it right now to do anything. And I really should, because there's several inches of snow coming tomorrow, and it's probably my best bet other than the John Deere. So this is definitely going to be on the channel soon, getting this thing cleaned up and much more user-friendly. This is a new little booger. Picked this up off of Marketplace out of Moline, Illinois, about a month ago. Been using it a ton around the property. It's really high hours, kind of worn out. The four-wheel drive system's got some funky stuff going on with it. I've been debating if I'm going to do a video on it, fixing some stuff. I don't think it's going to make it on the channel. So we had a Kubota RTV 500. It's useful, but it's not useful enough to keep around for the money that I have into it. I'd rather sell it and use that money for something else. So let's head up to the shed before it gets dark, because we don't have any power in there. Then we'll finish off with the garage, which in my opinion is the best part of the property and the part you guys will probably see the most. On the road again. Thing scoots. Bunch of random tin here. We bought that off Marketplace. Stay put. We bought this off Marketplace. We used it in the inside of the garage, which you will see. I have a bunch of it left over, and it's in really decent shape other than the holes and some rust spots. I think I'll probably sell it just to try and recoup some of my money from renovating the garage, but I ought to keep it around in case I build a parking... Damn, I still can't remember the name of the thing I want to build over the Suburban. The garage without walls. The shed. Like I said, this is like a 10 by 30. It is on a concrete foundation. My Honda Spree. Owned this for years. Never been on a video. The shed. There's no lights in here, so I apologize. Maybe I should fix that. The best I can do is flash. 10 by 30, but it is insanely tall. It's a really weird building. If we go outside, you'll see, I think they built half of the shed and then they stopped. It's like half of a building. in my head, it needs to be completed over here. And maybe one day we'll be able to do that. It's on a cinder block foundation or concrete foundation, which does not look, that wall's like this. See that? The wall's straight, the foundation's, yeah, whatever. Yeah, like the eaves are all open. It's like they, I don't know. They did not finish it. It's just weird. So, makes great storage. The only doors into it are these side ones that we just went into, which makes it really hard to get anything bigger than a motorcycle in and out of it. Getting the 6x6 in here was tough. Insanely tall. It's probably close to 20 feet, I would say. Maybe like 18 or 16. No trusses other than these supports. My plan, as of now, is to get some pallet racking and do most of this wall in pallet racking, and then get like an electric forklift or something, and then be able to stack dirt bikes and four-wheelers and things up there. I don't know, because like it's huge. It's way bigger than my last storage area, so it's awesome. But I mean, I already have it, like, it's not organized at all. It's still full of junk from the previous owner. But it'll fill up fast unless we use some of this vertical real estate. We do have some nice shelves up there. We could probably put mini bikes on right now. A couple of cool things in here. It has a massive speaker I'd like to install in the garage. Yeah, but majority of the machines made the trip. There were a few sad little machines that not make the trip. The reel mower was sold. I sold one of the other four-wheelers from the collection of 4 that I bought. I don't know if you guys remember that. That was like a year ago on Marketplace. What else did I sell? I sold a bunch of junk. You'll see more stuff in the garage that's gone. Just to make a little bit extra money when I was moving and less things to move, because I collect a lot of junk and I still have some things I need to sell. So just kind of got to keep tabs on what I have and what I'm using and what I'm not using, and get rid of some stuff. But plenty of things in here that will be in future episodes. Hoping to break this baby out tomorrow, the Atex ST300. It is a lot of fun in the snow. Like I said, we're getting several inches. So with that pretty much wraps up the whole property at a very high level overview. Let's head into the garage. Alrighty, so the garage is about 10 years. Alrighty, so the garage is about 10 years old. I don't know the exact dimensions offhand. Came with a play pit. You got all my Tonka toys in here. I'm not sure if these are going to stay. Be kind of cool to do like some raised garden beds here or something. I'd like to have a vegetable garden. Yeah, anyway, there's my collection of Tonkas. So let's go see what we saved for last. The best for last, at least for you guys, I think. So this is by far the largest space I've ever had to work in. You can actually hear the echo. That's pretty cool. So the main area is like 30 by 25 or 24. It's 24 feet deep. The up here is 15 by 15. This is like 2 feet, not 2 feet, probably a foot higher. This was some sort of existing structure. You see that steel plate there. There's actually a cave under there, and it's hooked to some sort of cistern. There's like some water system down there. I haven't been down there yet. We'll probably save that for a future video. Yeah, there's like a whole cave under there. So that was an existing structure. That's why this is at a different level than the main garage, which is a little odd, but makes for a nice storage. We can store a lot of tools and equipment up here and keep our main area open. And man, what a freaking mess it is in here. So I've owned this place now for right on a month today, actually. And it's been a fight. A lot of stuff to move, a lot of stuff to clean at my old house. And then as soon as I moved in here, we'll put some pictures. This place did not look like this at all. I put in the ceiling. I did insulation and drywall. Did the steel insulation there. All the lights are new. Trying to get it ready so I can get into some videos right off the bat, but it took me literally a month to do all the work in here. I don't know anything about drywall, so there was a huge learning curve there. My buddy Kane from Sykes Off-Road helped me a ton. I had already had all the drywall up, but he helped me finish it off and get it ready for paint, and it turned out awesome. This is going to be a really nice place to do a lot of work, and we have a lot of work to do this winter on all my different machines. So, current plan. this is going to be like the fabrication area. You'll see we already have the plasma table up here. I'm actually going to space that up off the floor about, I don't know, 6 or 8 inches so that we can get the table to hang over that concrete wall. Now the idea is that's the least amount of footprint possible for this thing to take up. And we should hopefully be able to kind of like forklift plates of steel right in here, right onto there, which would be really nice. Save my back a lot. Beyond that, we are going to get a much larger weld table. My fixture table that I used in like every fab video I've done so far, I actually sold to the guy I bought that giant Miller welder from on my trailer. So I need to buy a newer, nicer, not really newer, it can be older actually, but I want to buy a nicer fab table. But boy, those things are expensive. That'll go right here along the back wall. We're going to have all of our grinders, bench grinders. I like to build a belt sander sooner or later, kind of mounted to the wall. So table here, hopefully like a 4x8 if I can afford it. Plasma table will be tucked into the corner. I sold my lathe, my clawsing. I love that little lathe, but I didn't feel like moving it, and I would like something that can thread metric and SAE. So it's not at the top of my list of things to replace, but once we get one, we're going to move that shelf and we'll put a lathe on the wall there. I hope to also find a Bridgeport or like a Bridgeport style mill to sit in that corner. So we are going to quickly fill this area up as I start finding this stuff. So yeah, all of our fab tools up here. I want to build some sort of rack system for material, and more importantly, I want to have a dedicated place for my chop saw finally, because I always am like using that thing on the ground, or like, I don't know. It's a pain to use it if you have to dig it out every time, so that I end up cutting stuff with an angle grinder. It doesn't look as good. I would much prefer, that's a nice chop saw evolution cold cut saw. So this actually has, you know, teeth on it. Makes a huge difference compared to the old like dry cut saws with like the fiber discs. That is a huge step up. I would like to make one more step up though and have a mitering chop saw. Evolution makes one. It's like $900, and I'm not doing welding work for people anymore for money, so that's really tough to swallow at this time. So maybe we'll buy an old bandsaw or an old, I don't know, something. I'd like something that mitered on its own, but for now we're gonna set up a stand for that with some sort of rollers. I think we're gonna do it along this wall. It's not something that I'm gonna use every day, so I have some kind of cool plans we might try out. But the idea is, again, you can forklift material right in this door here and load it onto our table, cut it. You could even shoot material out the door if we have stuff that's really long to be cut. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to tell you all these things, and then I'm going to change them all anyway. What else? Got this sweet shelf here. Bought this at a yard sale type thing the other day. It's from General Cement. Electronic. I don't even remember what the hell it says now. Electronic television chemical department, self-service. It's kind of a massive shelf. I paid like $40 for it, which seems like a lot, but it's really cool styling. I mean, a shelf of this size, half as heavy duty, is probably more money if you bought one new. So I think I did okay. I've already pulled one shelf out of it. I think I'm going to go ahead and pull one more out of it so you can fit taller things. Yeah, so that probably won't stay there long term once we get a lathe. What else? Covered the cave. Yeah, so that's kind of the fab area. Main area, the goal is to just keep it as open as possible. It is just big enough that I can tuck my power stroke in here. My power stroke's like 22 feet long. Like I said, this building's like 24 feet deep, I think. So not a whole lot of space between the door and my truck when it's in here, but we can finally pull that thing inside and work on it. The plan is that'll probably live in that spot a majority of the time, and this will be our main project area here to work on whatever, the Dodge, whatever junk I own at the time, the Suburban. We'll stay here, and that space will be dedicated to the Power Stroke, except for if I have a long-term project going on here and I need to service something else, it can go in there temporarily. Yeah, all my toolboxes made it. Like I said, the weld table didn't make the move. The lathe, my little mini mill, didn't make the move. Sold a bunch of junk. It's kind of a good time to clear out some stuff when you move. So hopefully just replace all that stuff with better stuff as I can afford it. This is all that tin that I told you guys about. Some of it was for aesthetics purposes, but really I just wanted to insulate the walls and needed something to cover the insulation. So I went with steel on the bottom for a little bit of protection because you're always like banging into that. The drywall is really your cheapest option that's fire rated. So all this is 1/2-inch drywall, but the fabrication area over here is all 5/8 fire rated drywall. That allegedly has like an hour burn time before it actually like catch on fire. So it should handle sparks pretty good. It's really an extra pain to do the drywall. If you see, thankfully we were able to cover it up pretty good, but there's actually conduit drops that like go through the drywall area. That made this a huge pain in the butt. That's an unfinished area because we're going to add electrical in this place more and more as we go. Okay. Yeah, so not much to see over here. A lot of junk I still need to unpack. This is my first day that I've actually gotten to move in here since we're done the painting and everything. But much bigger space than I've ever had to work in, and I am pumped. We got some really bright lights. These are 8-foot long, 5,000 lumen lights. They might be a little bright for you guys. I don't know. I got to see how this video turns out. And then we have the window out here to the coot storage area. So, yeah, pretty pumped. So to finish out the video, I decided to step outside. We just missed our sunset, which is a shame. But I wanted to talk through a few upcoming projects real quick. Like I said, 71 Suburban, rust repair. Hydromac 8C needs a ton of work to make it reliable. You guys have quite taken a shining to the 92 W350, which is lovely because I have too. I love this truck. This thing is so much fun to drive, but it is far from being a trustworthy truck. It's been really reliable, knock on wood, but it's got a fuel leak. It leaks oil really bad. Tires are going bad. Fuel systems, it all works, but the tank's falling out of it. The fuel gauge doesn't work. The fuel tank leaks. So we are going to dive into this thing a lot more here soon throughout the winter and make it reliable. Not too worried about making it too pretty yet. We did find a hood, which is a big update. Flat black hood for $100. I had to drive an hour to go get it. But it looks pretty good on there. It matches the purple okay. So we are going to do a ton of work to this truck this winter to make it a reliable workhorse. And I need to find a gooseneck trailer for that. And behind the Ford, although I can't really tow a gooseneck with the crane, so we got to figure that out. While we're looking at it, the Ford also needs a fair amount of work. Now that I finally have a garage big enough to work on this thing, I can dig into it a lot more. For the last like 2.5 years, while I lived at my old house, it was just kind of like repair this thing to keep it running. And now I can spend more time keeping it nice since I can park it inside and actually like blow it apart to do things. So I'm pumped about that. It has actually gotten really, really bad over the last few years about starting in the cold. And now it's to the point where if it's like below 40 degrees, it doesn't start without a jump start, which really is a shame because the Cummins that was seized up like a month and a half ago, first hit of the key, it fires up at like 20 degrees. My reliable truck that I've babied and loved for the last 7 years just will not start. So kind of ironic, but I don't know if that'll make a video. I need to do all the glow plugs. I think the glow plug harness might have given up. It's got a weird squeak in the front end. Needs a bunch of little love. I have been working on a video on the crane itself. We did some updates and some repairs to that. Would like to finish that out with some paint and stuff, so that'll be another upcoming video. So all that is to say, oh yeah, got this little weird funky guy. That is a really weird tractor. That's going to be in a revival here soon. So all that to say that we have a ton of stuff going on the channel, and the biggest thing has been upgrading our property. We have a much better place to work inside now, and we have a lot more space outside for all kinds of dirt work. I can buy much larger stuff now. I've already been scoping out backhoes and crawlers and Max Superliners and low boys and all sorts of things, forklifts. So there is going to be a lot going on in the channel now, even more than we've been up to lately. So I hope you guys join me for that. So with that, I will leave you guys till next week, where we'll be back to working on some old junk instead of looking at a property. We did kind of work on some junk. That thing's not junk at all. This thing was sweet. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm too excited.